Welcome to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973, an inspirational podcast about the ups and downs of life and everything in between. Here's your host, Shane Lakita.
Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this episode here of Coffee Talk with Liquidshano. I'm back, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm in the mix. I got everything ready to go for this whole entire episode. It's been a little bit of a minute for me to be able to sit down with you to have a conversation because lots going on, a ton's going on. As many of you know, just very recently, I had the privilege and honor of being able to go out to Las Vegas. Sin City, the place where everything goes and whatever goes on out there stays out there. Well, I'll tell you what. I went there for a reason because people came together to vote for me to be able to go and represent for our little group and our little community. There was a bunch of people, so I'll explain it all to you. If for those of you that don't know what was going on, there's an amazing organization called Spread the Cheer. And it's headed up, the CEO is Danielle Claudio. And she basically put all this stuff together to be able to start off by giving back to families during the holidays. So whether it's during Christmas, whether it's during Easter, whatever it is, the time frames for them to be able to give back. So they raise money. They get it all together for less fortunate families to give back. Now, as you all know, these are the types of organizations that I want to surround myself with and be a part of, right? So I knew that I wanted to have some sort of participation. So we've done things in the past where we did some murder mysteries and we did some other things and we kind of put them all together and raised some money and some funds for Spread the Cheer. Well, it just so happens that last year they had their first annual Cheer Choice Awards through Spread the Cheer. Now, let me explain that to you. So the Cheer Choice Awards basically is anybody that does positive things with social media, which, as we all know, is pretty rare these days. There's not a lot of situations where people are using social media in a really positive realm, and they use it more so for political banter. They use it more so to be able to bully, online bullying, all those things. We all know all the stories. We've seen all the stories, or we've actually experienced all the stories, right? So at the end of the day, it wants to celebrate in people doing positive things using social media. So whether it's through Instagram, whether it's through TikTok, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through podcasting, whatever it is, they want to celebrate in that. So the first year, people were nominated, and they brought this up to the table. So what they basically did is they reached out to the community and said, anybody that you know doing positive things for using social media, nominate them. And so all these nominations were put in this big, huge vat or this big, huge bin for people to be able to take a look back and be able to see exactly what's going on and to be able to celebrate overall and all of these amazing creators. So after they went through the whole nomination process, then they come out with, here's a list of all the different people that have been nominated, and they go through a voting process. And the voting process is everybody gets together to be able to reach out to the community, sit down with them, be able to say, hey, listen, can you guys go in and vote for me if you guys want to, if you don't, et cetera, et cetera. And so you get the community moving forward after you've already been nominated, which is an honor in and of itself to be nominated amongst many other people. If you think about it, there's 400 million people on the app of TikTok alone. And if you can get through to nominate about 1,000 to 2,000 individuals that are doing positive things, and you're one of those, you're probably doing something right. And all the folks from every different walk of life, every different genre, every different age, you name it, every different race, every different creed, all were nominated from all over the place because they're doing a positive thing with social media. And so all the folks went in and they started voting and went through voting processes. So they went with the top 100 and then they went with the top 25. And then it all came down to more voting. And basically you ranked out and listed out the top 5 of each category. I think it was 20 categories, I think it was 20. And so basically what they did is if you were nominated in the top 5 in those categories, you were able to then go to Vegas to see if you won, right? So your community pulls together, they're voting for you, they're getting excited, they're all amped up about it, going in to be able to place a vote a day and all this other stuff. And you just got a really, really good energy and a good vibe about everything. And so all this stuff, it was all kind of this process that was going on. And you go through the voting process, you go through everything, and then you find out, voila, you are in the top 5 in your category. Now, my category was in the category of news, radio, and media. And that's more so around the podcast, and it's also around a radio show that I do on TikTok on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, where I get on there and I jam out to some good vibes, good tunes. We have themes. We just basically just vibe out. And going from Tuesday into Wednesday, mid part of the week, it just gives you a nice break and release. And when you step in there, you feel the love from all the community. So we got all these things that are going on. It's all a process. I find out I'm top 5. I go out to Vegas. Now, mind you, this is an expensive trip. So they paid for all the stuff that had to go with the event, all the other stuff that was going on. But I knew I couldn't bring my family with me because it's just too expensive, right? So I got in a plane, went out to Vegas, stayed at the Palms, which is where the whole entire event was. And I get up there and I met up with some really, really good friends that I've known for almost 3 years on TikTok, 2 buddies of mine, Leonard and Martin, and we roomed together, basically. We were one room across from each other, and we did everything together. We went out to eat, we went out to different places, went to go visit, went to go mingle, did all these different things. So I had kind of this little buffer, right? This little buffer that I had going for me, that I had one super extrovert in Leonard, another person much like me with Marty, and we just kind of hung out with each other and did our thing. So the first day was an open mic night on that Friday, and then on Saturday was a pool party during the day, and then a black and gold dance party in the evening, right? So these are all festivities before, hundreds, if not thousands of people all in Vegas, just hanging out and celebrating each other's positivity, celebrating each other's smiles and everything we're doing, and we're connecting on a molecular level, on a level that's deeper than just hi, how you doing? It's more around, man, you know what? You inspire me. Yeah, you changed me. You did all these things. So as you all know, we try to be able to play in the space of changing lives one action at a time. And at the end of the day, it's a little more difficult to be able to do it in the space of this social media. But for once, you're around other individuals that are thinking the same way and doing the same thing. And it was just amazing to connect with individuals that all have the same ideas and same types of thought process around how can I be a positive influencer? How can I be somebody who's going to lift and encourage people and do all those things? So it really did start to lift my spirits and fill my cup every single conversation that I was having. Now, during the whole entire weekend, I did things like had to go through these TV interviews, all this other stuff during the whole entire time. So at the pool, indoors, at the dance party, all these other things. And I was around some pretty incredible people. Now, on Sunday was the day of the event. So we're all getting ready. We're all doing our thing. And I actually went out to downtown Strip to be able to go and pick up some Hard Rock Cafe stuff for my wife, Crystal, and son, Gavin. And I got all those things all done, did a little shopping, and then got back and then got ready to get done up in my little suit, my vest, and everything else. So it was pretty much a gala, all nines, red carpet, everything was a pretty big deal. And so we get there in this theater, I think it's called the Pearl Theater at the Palms. And we all get in and we all sit down in our seats, and then the show kicks off. And we're going through such great, there was comedy, there was sketching, there was all kinds of different stuff. There was videos, all kinds of stuff. And then they got to my category. Now I'm nervous, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm going against some of these people that have millions of followers, that probably had people voting like crazy, doing all the things they had to do. And I had my community that was so strong and so energetic and so positive. I really wanted to win for them because they just put everything they had into it. They were voting every day. They were doing all kinds of different stuff. And then they called my name up on the stage. Now, if anybody knows me personally, you may not. If you do, you know this about me. I am an introverted extrovert. So I am somebody that would much rather just be sitting on my couch and doing my thing and minding my business and, watching sports or doing my thing or hanging out in the house and low-key stuff or whatever else. And I'm not really comfortable with large, huge settings with lots of people. So this whole weekend has been just an absolute overload, right? Sensory overload. But amazing that I was able to connect and talk and converse. And we had side conversations and forefront conversations and planning conversations and connections, all those things. But they called my name. So here I am, floored. The person sitting next to me was another influencer that I've been friends with for about 3 years. And he's sitting there, and they said, and the winner is Liquidshano. And I looked over at him, and I think I basically just said, oh, shit, are you kidding me? Like, what is going on? So I get up out of my seat. The crowd's going crazy. I go down, give high fives, get up on the stage. I don't really remember much of what I said except for what I actually saw on video that people have sent to me to say, your speech was amazing. It was on brand for you. You literally spoke exactly what we expected to say. So basically what I said when I got up on the stage was, I wanted to thank my wife of 23 years who's put up with my nonsense for so long, recording podcasts, recording videos every so often in the kitchen, recording something, and she like walks in and goes, "Oh, you're doing that again." All those things. She supports me. She lifts me up. She encourages me. She pushes me to go the direction of achieving the things that I want to achieve in life. So I couldn't thank anyone more than that. And then my son, who I mistakenly said was 16 on the stage. I don't know why I said that. Who knows? He's actually 17 and turning 18 soon. But anyway, I said I really love the support of those individuals and the community itself that got together to lift me up, to encourage me, to vote for me, to just all pull together for a good cause and be able to push forward with celebrating somebody that they know does something positive, right? So I thank those things. And then I said, of course, as in my closing statement, I said, and one last thing I just want to share with everybody. Everybody in this room has an opportunity from this point forward to make a positive impact and positive difference, even more than what we've been doing so far. We're allowed to do so. This environment gives us the ability to do something positive for individuals to give back and do all those things. So if you have your tablet and you've got your phone, you've got all these things that you're trying to work on or things that you are working on, whether it's through humor, it's through art, it's through dance, it's through makeup, it's through broadcasting, through media, through podcasts, through radio, television, or whatever it is that you're doing, and we have an opportunity to be able to impact the world and change the world one action at a time. This is our moment, because the world is going to hell in a handbasket left and right? So here we are. This is our opportunity. This is our moment. And so I said, thank you very much. And they whisked me off stage. And here I am, this big guy. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm walking out and I see a lot of these influencers that I've looked up to, or I've actually watched and saw them grow exponentially and how in the dynamic of where they're at. So I saw a bunch of influencers in back and they gave me hugs, and I went to this other area and did this other interview. And by this time I'm in this whirlwind of emotion. This whirlwind of anything. Listen, this is just the Cheer Choice Award, right? So basically it was to raise money for charity. But there's something to the fact of you amongst your peers in a category where people have gone there to vote for you, to say you matter and you're something special. And so all these folks, when they went in to vote to get me the win amongst four other pretty major competitors and contributors and influential people left and right, for me to be able to pull out a win like that, because the community got together to say we love what he's doing, so we want to celebrate in what he's doing, and let's pull together to be able to do so and to actually pull the win out, was incredible. And so I thought to myself, man, I get done, I walk to the back of the stage, I go over to the bar area. I've got the award, a little angel with a heart in the middle for the Cheer Choice Awards in one hand, and I got my little card that they put on there that they read off in the little velvet velour-looking little container that they put the name card in, and they gave it to me. And so everybody else was kind of mingling around the bar, and I just stood there. I went over to the side, and I was still watching the rest of the show. There was a couple more categories to go, and then they were going to give the main award for the Cheer of the Year award, all this other stuff. And I'm just standing there, and I'm just contemplative, and I'm reflective. And I'm saying to myself, how did I get here? You know, I'm a positive individual. I'm a person that loves to be able to give back and lift others up. I'm also a positive realist, so I know that life does suck sometimes, and we got to be able to really push through the really bad times to get to the good times. I know all that. I've been there. I see it. I experience it every day. But I'm sitting there and I'm reflecting, and I'm looking back, and I said, this moment in time for me, although not a lot of monetary value, not a lot of things that you can actually do, maybe a little bit of visibility and some connections and things like that. But at the end of the day, it means more to me in this moment to be able to celebrate in the fact that I'm continuing to stay the course and do the things that I have to do in a society and a culture and a world where that's not the norm anymore. The norm is to be angry. The norm is to be have just piss and vinegar coming out and just going crazy and going bonkers over the smallest little things. It's all political. It's all left. It's all right. It's all these other things. When I'm just staying the course of raising money, doing the things that I have to do, giving back creating a podcast and doing the things that I have to do to invest in other people, whether you're on a weight loss journey, whether you're on just in life in general, and you're just trying to get through one step at a time to move things forward. And this was a moment. This was a moment in time that I can say to myself, hey, wait a minute. This is pretty great. This is pretty amazing. Wait a minute. Like, this community came together to celebrate in the things that I'm doing. And then I reflected even more. And the reflection point that I got to was, if I feel this way about this little medal award that I'm getting right here with a community that came together to be able to vote for me, to be able to push forward and everything else, if I'm feeling the way that I do, where I feel like I'm on cloud nine, indestructible, I could break down walls, I can do everything I have to do to be able to continue to fight and continue to give and continue to encourage and continue to lift others up and all those things. If I'm in a space where I can do that, and I feel this way with just this simple gesture, imagine the impact that we could make every single day if we just paid some compliments and we opened our eyes and observed and treated people with kindness and treated people with love and affection and care and those kind of things, and encouraged each other, even if you didn't agree with somebody, or even if you looked at somebody the way that they dress or the way that they do, or the lifestyle that they live and all this stuff like that, and don't judge anybody, and legitimately at the end of the day, lift them up and encourage them because they're a good human being. Let's go ahead and celebrate in that. How amazing would that be? I sat there thinking to myself, I can run through this wall. I can accomplish whatever I want to at this moment in time because I feel the power of community. I feel the power of encouragement. I feel the power of everything that I've been putting together for the last few years with social media and everything else, because we do want to make a difference. And now all of a sudden I'm being recognized for that. I feel the love of all these individuals. I feel encouraged and lifted up. When I was walking up to the stage, I do remember this much. I was walking up to the stage, and there was a faction of a bunch of people that were in there that knew me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all came from all over the country to be able to be here to support their people. And I had all these people yelling and screaming and saying, Shano, yes. And it just, like, the endorphins that were going through my brain and my body and everything else, that I was just feeling on top of the world, like nothing could go wrong. And if I could feel that way in that moment, like I said, how do you think your neighbor is going to feel if you walk over and say, hey, you know what? I just want to let you know I'm going to give you a hand with that. I love what you're doing, or just giving them some love, or bringing over some cupcakes, or doing whatever it is that you have to do to be able to give back to somebody who might not be feeling all that great. Maybe they're having a bad day, and you're lifting them up and encouraging them by giving them a high five, buying them a coffee, doing whatever you have to do. A small gesture can make such a difference in someone's life that you have no idea what that actually can do. You might save a life. You might save somebody from despair. We all don't know what anybody else is going through at that moment in time. At the moment in time that I was at these awards, I got stressed with my son. I got stressed with bills. I lost my job about a year and a half ago. I got stressed with all these different things that are still rummaging through my head, knowing at the end of the day, I probably shouldn't even be out there in Vegas, like, to be honest with you. But I went because I knew that this was important to me. It was important to the podcast. It was important to the people that got together, that legitimately pulled together to be able to do so. And it was also important for just my own psyche to be able to go there and go, hey, you know what? Let's celebrate in this. I don't know how many times I heard from a friend of mine named Leonard Burns 6 on TikTok, if you don't know. He said to me, Shane, you have to embrace it. I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, I hear you deflect all the time. Somebody goes, Shane, you deserve this. This is so amazing. Even before the win, just being nominated for the top 5, you deserve this. You do so many good things. And I'm like, oh, I'm just a guy just trying to do whatever. And he's like, no, you're not just a guy. You're against the norm. You're somebody that does something that not the rest of society is really doing. Although they may talk about it, you're actually proving it with your actions rather than just your words or the things you're trying to be able to put out there. And so at the end of the day, he says, embrace it, feel it, understand that people love you and people care about you. I say the same thing to every single person listening to this podcast right now. Even if you don't feel like it, there are people that love you. Even if you don't see it every single day, there's somebody out there that cares about you and that has you on their mind at that moment in time, and you should feel encouraged, elated, and uplifted by the fact that they are thinking about you and they want you to succeed. And if you have to at the end of the day, here's what I want you to do. I want you to also know that if you're listening to this podcast right now, you got me in your ears, you got me in the car, you got me on the train, you got me wherever you are, and you're listening to my words. I'm telling you right now that I love you. I think you're amazing. I think you're incredible. I think no matter what it is that you're doing right now, in this moment, you're doing your best, and you're trying to be able to truck through it. Yeah, is it easy? No. Not at all. None of this is easy. If life was easy, everybody would be so successful, we wouldn't have any kind of growth or any kind of anything, because you're not really falling down to be able to pick yourself back up, to be able to move forward and be a positive influence or keep things going forward in the direction you want it to go. So at the end of the day, you're amazing. You're awesome. And if you needed to hear that just from me, then let me be the advocate for you to be able to lift you up and encourage you, just like they did for me when I was out there in Vegas. And I was standing down the hallway, a dark hallway, and I'm looking at the stage from the side view. I wasn't sitting back in my seat. I'm just reflecting. That I said to myself, oh, and here's how the self-doubt kicks in. I just want to let you know this too, because this is another thing that we all have to work on. Instead of just parking there and understanding the value of who you are and the worth of what you bring to the table and all those things, here I am standing in that hallway going, well, what do I really get for this Cheer Choice Award? What do I really get for it? You know what I mean? I came all the way here to Vegas, and I went through this small little negative moment. Although I could list a book long worth of things that I've done when I've been out there that are positive things in my life. I've met people. I've connected with people. I've connected with people that I've known for 3 years only online, that I consider to be family or friend, all across the board. And I was able to have conversations with them, and we felt like we were just brothers that have known each other for 20 years. That alone in itself is pretty powerful. Where we're able to connect some of those online community relationships and be able to thrive and build on it and be able to move things forward. You know, and then when I was thinking that little negative Nancy thought to myself, what does the Cheer Choice Award do for me? What does it do for me? I'll tell you what it does. It validates me. It tells me you're doing a good job. It tells me you're making an impact. It says all the work that you put into things where you're not getting paid on any of it. At the end of the day, you, my friend, are doing good things. You're helping individuals. You're lifting people up. You're encouraging other individuals. You're using it exactly as you planned to use it as you're moving forward. That's what that award did for me. It gave me confidence. It made me feel this euphoric feeling of winning. I mean, how many of us always say, I don't win anything, so, you know, what's this all about? That's the way I felt when they called my name. I don't win anything. Wait, what? What did they just say? I don't even know what's happening right now. So at the end of the day, here's the thing. We're all just trying to be able to move forward, aren't we? We're trying to achieve our goals. We're trying to be good parents. We're trying to be good children. We're trying to be good people in general, across the board, right? We all are. Even if you're not really all that good of a person, there's still some things that you want to do that makes you a good individual, even if you try not to be. Everybody does have a fiber of goodness in them, right? So here you are working hard. You're diligent. You're putting things forward. You're doing everything you have to do to continue to achieve your goals and do it the way that you want it to be done, right? Whatever picture you're trying to paint, you're trying to be able to stay within the lines and be able to move things forward and do things the right way. At the end of the day, you're doing a great job. You're doing an amazing job. Use the Cheer Choice Award that I had with this little angel statue character being that they gave to me as a symbol or a call to action for you to continue to do what you need to do to be who you want to be. Your time is now to be able to move things forward. We are only on this earth for a small amount of time. And if you don't maximize your time now and leave an impact and leave a lasting impression with somebody else, or even with your own family and your own self, whoever it is that you're trying to be able to do so, make it happen now. Your time is now. Turn the page. Whatever it is that you were doing before, you're amazing at what you've done so far, but now's your time. Your time is right now. And it is mine too. At the end of the day, I won't let anything, no negative feelings, no self-doubt, no self-worth that I feel less than or anything like that is going to get in the way of me achieving the things that I want to be able to achieve, because it's for a good cause and it's for a good purpose. Because I am a good person. And I deserve that award. And I deserve the community that came together legitimately to vote for me, to push forward, specifically for whatever reason that it was. I had some people did it just because I did the large tips that I gave back to the community. I had other people. Here's another thing that blew me away about the whole entire time out in Vegas. I don't know how many people walked up to me and said, hey, you drew me. You drew my face. You drew this beautiful picture. And this one woman actually stopped me in my tracks and said, hey, Liquidshano, how you doing? I said, hey, what's going on? As I'm kind of walking to the pool and doing whatever. And she said, I just want to share something with you. I said, what? She goes, when you did my picture, I was just coming off of pretty much 3 rounds of chemo. And this is just where I was. I wasn't feeling very good about myself. I was feeling down in the dumps. I sent you the picture and asked you to do an avatar for me. And you did it. And you made me beautiful. You took the wrinkles away. You made me feel like I was beautiful. And so I stopped her in her tracks. And I said to her, hey, you know, I only draw or make art of what I see. If my visual was what you saw in that avatar, then that's how I see you. And I see more than just a person or a face. I see an individual. I see somebody that's fighting the good fight. I see somebody that is trying to be able to put one foot in front of the other, may have struggled a little bit, but they keep on moving things forward. So I love you for the fact that you literally were taken aback by the fact of what I saw in you was so much different than what you saw in you. And that's a whole other podcast, right? That's a whole other topic about what we see in ourselves rather than what other people see. And that will be coming up soon because it stood out to me. And she started crying and I got all teary-eyed and we had a moment. But here's the thing. All those individuals that walked up to me to say that you drew my picture, or you made my avatar, you made me feel beautiful, you made me feel good, I was giving back to the community and I was getting this and I love it so much. All those people were impacted in one form or fashion. And that was a small interaction in our lives, a small little snippet of a moment that they reached out to me to get this artwork done. We did the artwork. They paid. Everything was good to go. He gave a high five, said, enjoy. I hope you like it. They said, I do. And I walked them up, went about my merry way. But these people were all impacted by that interaction, by the way that I responded, by the way I made them feel, by the way that I communicated with them, all those things. They all were impacted that way. So they remember me more than I even remembered them at the time, because I painted them in a light that they felt good with, or we did it together where we were giving back to the community. Again, positive actions. The things that we do and the way that we act leave the legacy behind of who they'll remember us by. When you're long gone and you're legitimately stepping back and you're watching down and you're saying, hey, what's this person going to say about me? Are they just going to say, oh, yeah, that guy that worked in that little desk over there, or that person that did over there, or, whatever they did? No. Or are they going to say, what a great individual. What an amazing person. They made me feel good. They made me feel valued. No matter what I was thinking, no matter what my views were, no matter what it was, they wanted to lift me and encourage me no matter what was going on, because that's who they were. And that is the legacy that I want to leave behind. So this award ceremony helped me to understand, Shane, you bring value to the table. Shane, you bring worth to the table. Shane, you make a positive impact across the board. No matter what you're doing, you make that impact. You work hard at doing that. And last but not least, Shane, you're worthy. You're worthy of encouragement. You're worthy of acknowledgement. You're worthy of love. And no matter how hard life gets, just remember, you are worthy as well. So guys, I love all your faces. I appreciate you so much. All the podcast listeners, all the TikTok watchers, all the Liquidshano Radio live participants, and the people that come there every single Tuesday and spend a couple hours every Tuesday to be able to hang out with each other and encourage each other and lift each other up. I love your faces, and I appreciate you so much. And thank you for being a part of my life and a part of my lives and a part of my podcasts and everything else. And you're going to see more content coming out with the podcast. I've got some interviews lined up from people that I met while I was out in Vegas. but then also other individuals that just inspire me, because this forum right here that I'm talking to you on this podcast feels like it's my bread and butter. This is my connection to you. This is our communication with each other. At the end of the day, you're worth it. And I'm worth it to continue to move forward in that space. So you'll hear a lot more from me. If you are interested in becoming a patron of the show, there's a link right in the body of this post or this podcast where you can actually go to patreon.com/liquidcoffeetalk and be able to sign up to become a patron of the show, which does things like audio equipment, speakers, microphones, cameras, everything else that we try to be able to keep investing in the show and keep things moving forward. And if you want to become a patron, there are also different tiers that you can get for becoming a patron of the show, and then you get some tchotchkes and some other stuff coming back to you. And I also have some new merchandise in the store as well, so check that out when you get a chance. It's in my bio. Any of the profiles or any of the different avenues that you follow me on, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, this is the different avenues that we can be able to communicate with each other and be able to see each other that way as well. But my links are all in the bio with the podcast, with the merchandise, with everything else. So much love to you all, guys. Have an amazing week this week, and we'll see you next week. Hopefully I'll be able to get another podcast out this week, and we'll be able to continue to move forward and create some consistency, because I'm amped. I'm amped and I'm ready, and I love all your faces, and we'll talk soon, okay? All right, guys. See ya.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. Please do us a favor and leave feedback and a 5-star rating on whatever platform that you use.